Well, hi, and welcome again to this week's ATL Home Market. I'm Ira Miskin. I am team leader for the Miskin Team and master broker with your home sold guaranteed realty, along with Stephanie Miskin, our co-team leader for the Miskin Team, and Josh Gillette, our associate broker with the team in your home sold guaranteed realty, and our senior field advisor. And this week we have a special guest. It's Ted Fithian. Ted Fithian is I like that. Hi, Ted.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Thank
Ted
you.
is the regional sales manager for America's Preferred Home Warranty, which is an extraordinary company that we have worked with for a great number of years. And Ted's going to have some very good information and some really good stories for you about how the value of a home warranty just helps you enormously, whether you're buying or selling a home, and also ongoing just in owning a home. But before we do that, Stephanie has some really nifty programs and activities that are going on around Metro Atlanta this week that she's going to share with you right now.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Hope everyone's doing great. I've got 4 events going on. Some of them are just the weekend. Some of them are going to go through the rest of the month. So I'm going to run through them with you. One of them is the Latino Family Festival held in Stone Mountain Park. And all you do is pay to get into the park, the regular admission fee. And this is going to be a great event. It's going to go on May the 3rd to the 4th. So this is just this weekend. And it's going to be celebrating Latino heritage. And there will be dancers, there'll be music, there'll be interactive storytelling. There's going to be a drone and light show, which is going to feature 250 changing drones choreographed to music, followed by fireworks. So you're going to have a food, you're going to have parade, you're going to have dancing, and it's all going to be in a Latino theme, and it's going to be great. And so get out there with the kids and have a good time. That's this weekend in Stone Mountain Park. Another thing that's going to be going on this weekend, also on Saturday, May the 3rd, which is really cool, is going to be the Atlanta Beltline Lantern Parade. And that's going to be on Saturday, like I said, and anyone can come with a lantern to join and illuminate the Atlanta Beltline with a parade going all through downtown Atlanta and wherever the Beltline goes. It's going to be you have to line up for the parade at 7:35 at Adair Park in Atlanta. And there's going to be vendors, there's going to be food trucks, it's going to be a great big party in the city with lanterns. It's really spectacular. If you get a chance, look at it online, and there'll be little videos, and you'll see how amazingly fun it's going to be, and just very creative. The lanterns are amazing that people create. So take the kids. It's at night, but take the kids, take a stroller, and get out and have a good time. Now, speaking about kids, during the month of May, throughout May, it's going to end May 25th, at the Center for Puppetry Arts in Atlanta is the Cat in the Hat. Okay, so what a better story to turn into a puppet show than the Cat in the Hat. So get out there with the kids. It's like $22 to get in. Not only are they going to be able to see the show, which is spectacular, they're going to have the availability to go to a workshop and make their own puppets. And they're also going to be able to walk through the museum. So parking is free downtown at the Center for Puppetry Arts. Check it out. The Cat in the Hat, Dr. Seuss. Every little kid loves that, and parents too. And last but not least, I think everybody at least once in their lifetime needs to go to a Renaissance Festival. So the Georgia Renaissance Festival is going to be every single weekend all the way through May, to the end of May. And it is held in Fairburn, Georgia. Under 5, if your kids are under 5, it's free. If they're over 5, they're 6 to 12, it's like $15 to get in. Adults are $30. It's rain or shine. It's bringing you back. It's like it's like going back in time if you've never been to one of these things. You're going into the 16th century England. You're going to have artisans. It's going to be a jousting event. There are going to be games. There are going to be rides. And of course, everybody wants to get the turkey leg to eat. And check it out. It's going to be going on until the end of May. And that is the Georgia Renaissance Festival in Fairburn. So lots of stuff going on this month. And I hope you guys do, get a chance to check out some of these events, check them out online, look at the pictures, and just, go have some fun. Go have some fun with the kids and the family, and enjoy yourself. So that's what I got for you this week, guys.
Okay, and fun is one of my favorite things in life. So, we've actually been to all of those different kinds of events, each one of them at different phases in our life, including maybe my favorite, which is the Center for Puppetry Arts. We started going to that when our kids are little, and now our kids who are grown are bringing their kids. It's just so much fun, and it makes you, whatever your age, feel like you're a kid again. So if you have a chance and you can bring the kids to that, you'll just have one great day. So let's jump into what we were going to talk about this week. Whether it's working as someone who's thinking about or now has already put an offer in, and that offer has been accepted on buying a home, or you're the seller and you've now got an offer on the home and you're now working on issues related to what happens when the buyers do their home inspections. One of the most frequent deal killers in the process is when home sellers fail to take care of issues that they could have taken care of before they put the home on the market, to eliminate the need for discovering that you have leaks or wall cracks or heaven knows what. And discovering that there are issues in a home that nobody was aware of, or just maintaining that house and keeping it in good order. A lot of your home is made up of physical products. That's your stove, that's your refrigerator, that's your microwave, that's your hot water heater, that's your heating system, that's your air conditioning system. All of these things that are strategic and important daily use parts of your home that have a lifespan. And even when you think they're in good condition, and even when you have them checked out because they're mechanical, they break. And then you're stuck with either having to do immediate repairs, immediate replacements, or in the case of it being part of this as a home sale, figuring out how to get it done, usually at a much higher cost than is necessary, in order to make the sale get completed. Well, one of the things that we did many years ago, and we did this in partnership with America's Preferred Home Warranty, was to provide to every one of the buyers that we work with and every one of the home sellers that we work with a home warranty on that home. Most folks don't have a clue what a home warranty is. And even if they've had some peripheral relationship with a home warranty company, they've either not used it or didn't understand how to use it, or the company they worked with was not necessarily providing the best of services. But over the years that we've found that the home warranty programs that America's Preferred Home Warranty has provided are outstanding and at the top of their game. And I think, Ted, one of the ways that I think we could start is if you could give us a little short course on really what separates out America's Preferred Home Warranty from the rest of the crowd. What makes your home warranty and your company unique among others?
Yeah, sure. I'll be happy to do that. Thanks, Ira. So, there are basically two models that are prevalent in the home warranty world. And most people are familiar with what I'd call brand A, where you have a warranty company that should your water heater break, your air conditioner need repair, you call them, and they have contracted with service providers in the area, and we'll send those service providers out to your home. That model has been prevalent for years and years, and it works fairly well for the most part, but there are some times when you don't want that particular person in your home, or you don't know the qualifications or background of that particular individual. So over the last 15 or 20 years, another model has really resurfaced, and that's the model that America's Preferred uses, where we simply let the homeowner choose their own contractor to do the work. So the advantage certainly there is that contractor does not work for the warranty company. He's working for the homeowner. So there's an incentive for him to do a good job at a reasonable rate if he wants further business down the road. So the largest differential with our product is that, yes, we cover, and if you line all the warranty companies up on the table, we all pretty much cover the same 5 major systems in the home. But the big difference with us is to allow that homeowner to choose their own contractor. And if they need somebody out there today, they can get somebody out there today. And then the other big difference is we don't physically replace any equipment in the home. What we simply do is give the homeowner cash and let them decide to use that money to fix what's broken, or they could use that to repair or replace the item that, for instance, a dishwasher or a microwave. So they're in control of the process, and it just works very, very well. Most people do like to be in control of what's going on. If they want a certain brand or a certain color of appliance or something like that, they can do that under our warranty. So that's really the largest differentiator with our model as compared to the majority of the industry.
There are some things that America's Preferred does in working with buyers and sellers that is also unique. Ted, talk a little bit about the home warranty program as it applies to working with home sellers and how that part of the program works.
Yep, gotcha. So I'll give you just a couple of interesting statistics as to why I'm pretty passionate about the use of a home warranty when you're buying or selling a house. And I'll start with very quickly the buyer side, then I'll transition over to the seller side. But the simple fact of the matter is, and this is a National Association of Realtors statistic, if I'm a home buyer and I purchase a home that's been previously occupied, there's better than a 90% chance that some system or some appliance in that home is going to fail within the first 12 months. So as it reverts to the seller, no matter how good the seller takes care of their home, how much of the disclosure that they provide in terms of, the operating systems of the home, when that new buyer rolls in, there's a very good chance that something is going to break to no fault of the seller. So the warranty from the seller side does help protect the seller from having that home buyer come back to them and say, hey, you guys sold me this house with leaky pipes or bad microwave or whatever, right? You'd rather have, as the seller, would rather have that home buyer deal with the warranty company than yourself. But in addition to that, most warranty companies, and ours is a little bit unique in how this works, we will allow the seller to actually provide or put warranty coverage on the house while it is on the market. We've all heard about Murphy's Law, right? And I've been with this company for almost 11 years now, and I've got story after story where this occurs, where everything is functioning perfectly in the house, and you list it on Thursday, and on Saturday, the water heater breaks, right? Or you've got people that come through and they're turning knobs and they're opening doors and lifting faucets, and things tend to break. So we can provide the seller warranty coverage on the house while it's on the market. And not only will we cover items that might fail or break while it's on the market, but where the rubber really meets the road with this seller coverage is typically when the buyer makes an offer, they're going to send the inspector out to the home, and he'll go through that house with a fine-tooth comb, whether it's in the crawl space or the attic, and he's turning knobs and he's looking at, electrical boxes, and he could find something, and let's just use something as simple as an attic or an exhaust fan that might not work, and the seller's not even aware of it. Well, the beauty of the seller coverage on the warranty is that seller can then actually claim or submit a claim to us to help in that repair. And again, I've got stories, and I'll give you a perfect example. I had one not long ago where the seller was literally moving out of the home, and when they went to remove the water from the back of the washing machine in the laundry room, 2 of the spigots had never been touched, and they couldn't get them to shut off. Well, that's a $400 repair that, because the agent had the warranty on the listing, we were able to pay that claim on behalf of the seller and save them $400. So, those little items like that, because as you're buying or selling a house, it's typically the most stressful thing besides having a child that there is, according to what I've read, right? So when you can eliminate those minor things that happen, it just makes the transition much better, both for the seller and for the buyer.
You've also, in the last year or two, have added some additional programs and elements to the programs that are not typically found in any other home warranty company, that just don't relate to a broken washing machine, but they relate to title issues and things of that sort. Something that is absolutely unique, and in this universe that we now live in, where there are so many ways for the bad guys to break into your information. This is an actually extraordinarily good program to have for just about everybody that owns a home.
Right. Yeah. And what you're alluding to there is basically our identity theft and title theft protection program. That's part of the warranty as well. We implemented this about 3 or 4 years ago. And, not surprisingly, and these were things that we learned as we implemented this program, but when you're buying a house, you're getting financially naked, if I could say it, to the underwriter to get your loan. So you're providing them with your credit report, with your pay stubs, with your bank statements, and all of the documentation that typically is required. And there's a very high likelihood that if someone was a bad actor and wanted to steal anybody's identity, that would be a great place to start, right? So we added, basically, it's a 1-year free program that when you use our home warranty, you can sign up for the identity and the title theft protection for 1 year at no cost. That's just part of the program. And we're having a lot of people take advantage of that because, again, in this environment, you hit the nail on the head. Identity theft is a huge problem. So anything we could do on our end to help protect not only the appliances in the home, but the financials of the person buying the home, we thought was a win-win.
And that's keeping up with the reality of technology and keeping up with the reality of how the marketplace and all of the things that can affect a sale take place. And it's so important. But it's important not only to have that just as something that helps bridge the gap or helps to solve issues. We'll talk about in a couple of examples that Josh and I have in a little bit. But it's also important on an ongoing basis when you own a home. I'll just tell you, for an example, from us, we have a hot water heater like everybody else. And there are things that are attached to the hot water heater that control how water moves in and out. We also have this gizmo that's attached to our heat and air system that monitors the flow of condensed water that is sucked out of the air by the heat and air system that's supposed to flow outside of the house. Well, in the case of the heat and air system, that little gizmo stopped working. And, we would have no idea that it wasn't working because it wasn't like an alarm went off. And the next thing we knew, we had 4 inches of water in our finished basement. Oops. Well, a simple $500 repair took care of fixing that problem. But we then had to go through all of the issues related to tearing everything out of the basement that had gotten soaked. All of the things that happened because you don't do ongoing maintenance and because a tool like a home warranty isn't there to help pay for the cost of the broken part, along with, in this particular instance, our home insurance company helping us to defer the cost of tearing everything out of the basement that got soaked up to the middle of the wall in order to repair it. So having all of these different kinds of tools, which are not phenomenally expensive, it's not like you have to spend tens of thousands of dollars a year to have a really good home warranty, well under $1,000, gives you annual coverage. It protects you and your home and the systems that are vital to the daily use of your home. And it also just provides peace of mind because you know if something does go wrong, you have a system and a process and people behind it that can back it up and help you to take care of those issues. Ted, before we jump off of this, got any one or two really good, sexy stories that you could tell us that is proof positive that the necessity for really having a good home warranty system along with everybody else is just critically important in owning and managing your home?
Well, I've got several stories, but I don't think I've ever heard the word sexy and home warranty in the same sentence. So I don't know where I could go with that. That's a first for me, Ira. But I'll give you a couple of interesting statistics. 70% of the claims that we pay on homes that were purchased, and again, I work primarily in the real estate side. So my customers are the real estate community that are buying and selling homes. But nearly 70% of our claims occur within the first 90 days of people moving in. And so you think about that process, and especially over the last 2 or 3 years, where finding a home and buying a home was such a challenge that they've spent 4, 5, 6 months going from home to home, finally getting an offer accepted, then moving in the house in the first week, their things are breaking, right? They're not happy at all. So the home warranty is the remedy to that. And I want to make a couple of things clear, and you kind of hit the nail on the head. Number one, the warranties are fairly inexpensive in the grand scheme of things, $500 to $1,000. One of the misconceptions that many consumers have is that because they have a warranty that everything in the home is covered, and that's simply not the case. You're not going to get a new roof for $500. The warranty is a phenomenal tool that's designed to help them offset the costs for systems and items in the home that typically break due to normal wear and tear. So when you buy a home, and we see this a lot, we call it those manic Mondays. People move in over the weekend. They're washing their dishes. They're doing their clothes. The windows are open or the doors are open, bringing in furniture, and they're messing with the air conditioner. And we have the Monday claims blues. It's always on a Monday morning after people move in. And so the warranty helps soften some of that stress, right? The last thing you need to do is come out of pocket more money after just making a down payment on a house for something that, again, could be easily covered under the home warranty. So I'm a huge proponent when you're buying or selling a home. And you mentioned the flood that you had. The warranty will not cover what's known as consequential damage. That's where your homeowner's insurance comes in. So the warranty, again, covers the plumbing, the electrical, the appliances in the kitchen, the cooling and heating. When you have things like flood, fire, wind damage, that's where your homeowner's insurance comes in. And again, that's a misconception for a lot of homeowners as well, not quite knowing what the difference is between the warranty and the homeowner's insurance. So one of the neat things that we've recently done is when someone orders a warranty with us, and again, typically done by the agent on behalf of the buyer, they have the ability to send an educational video to the buyer that outlines exactly the items that are covered and what, more importantly, are not covered under the warranty, so that they have an understanding if this breaks, then it's probably covered under the warranty. And then here's how I go about handling it in the claim situation. So in terms of stories, I've got 1,000 of them. And again, it's very typical stuff where, hey, we moved in over the weekend and my air conditioner's frozen, right? Or we moved in over the weekend and my water heater's not working. So for us to be able to be there and step in and say, hey, it's all good, we can get it covered, call your own guy, get him out to the house today, and then reimburse them cash, and we can actually do it direct through ACH now as well. It just is a very useful tool, as I like to say, when you're buying or selling a piece of real estate.
And see, among the things that your real estate advisor can do for you is to help you to understand what these differences are and how having a number of different products that combine give you the kind of assurance that when something happens that's extraordinary, that you're going to have the kind of assistance that you need to be able to get the problem solved. So, our broken gizmo on our heating unit that caused water to flood the basement. a heating unit, coupled with the homeowners insurance that we have, which is a good homeowners insurance company, was able to get all of the different elements that had to be taken care of. Number one, fix that element on the hot water heater. I'm sorry, on the heating unit, so that the condensation flowed out correctly out to the outside instead of flooding my basement. And I was able to get both of the problems solved and get them solved pretty darn quickly, because I both understood the relationship between what the two different services provided and also had very good services. And that's, again, part of what it is to have a team behind the real estate professional that's helping you buy or sell your home, is having access to folks like Ted, who can really give you the kind of information in detail that you need if you're unsure about what you need to do or how to go about doing it. And very good products and service companies that you can choose from in order to know that when you do move into that house, if nothing happens for 5 years, great. And if something happens in the first 24 hours after you've moved in, you have the certainty of knowing that you have the assistance and the coverage to doing that. And that's a very, very big part of what's so important in working with a real estate group that has real estate advisors that have a really good team behind them in each of the elements and the aspects of what we're doing. Ted, I want to thank you so much for taking time to spend the time and effort to help people understand really what the value of a home warranty is in the service process. And I look forward to you coming back again and jumping in and helping us to talk about a variety of things that you are so knowledgeable about as relates to helping homeowners really have the best opportunity to take care of their home while they have it and to prepare that home when they sell it. But what I'd like to do now, because Josh has spent a lot of time with a lot of buyers out there in the marketplace and in the field, and has negotiated a great many sales on behalf of their buyers. Josh, maybe you can fill us in a little bit on really what happens when you go through that inspection process, and that there are issues that come up that may not necessarily be solved by fixing something, but might well be solved by having a tool like a home warranty become the leverage that you need to help the buyer and seller come together and have agreement.
Yeah, definitely. So the conversation I literally had a few days ago, we were out looking at a property. Everything was perfect. They renovated everything. It's a situation where they completely replaced everything but the HVAC system, except for the condenser. So condenser wasn't too old. It was older, 13, 14 years old. And what I had to tell my client was, if they were not selling this house and they continue living in this house, that condenser probably would last for another 5-10 years. But the fact that you care about this house, the fact that you want to buy this house, something's going to break. You got another month, you got another 2 months, something's going to break. So we need to negotiate for the seller to take care of this, to address it up front, make sure there's no issues with it up front. But we need to add a home warranty so that just for the fact that you care about this house now, it's going to break. You need something to go ahead and protect you. So the way I like to think about home warranty is that, and why things, I think the way those Manic Mondays occur is that I grew up in a house. They refused to turn the heat on, or actually refused to turn the AC on. I refuse to do that now. AC will be on 24/7 now. But when I grew up in the house, so what happens is you're transitioning from someone who may have not used that bedroom, someone who may not have used that bathroom, someone who may not have used that air conditioner or that heat the way you do. And now you come in, you turn all these systems on, you're getting used to the house, and all of a sudden, all these things that the seller, who honestly just never knew there was an issue, the inspector said everything was great, for the short amount of time they're there, now it becomes an issue. And that's why the home warranty is there. That's the home warranty is there to kind of have someone looking over your shoulder, someone looking out for you. And for people that are being say a first time home buyer who's moving from a rental to their very first home, is someone else. There's no more landlord. There's no one else looking over your shoulder. There's no one to call. And this home warranty gives you someone to call for another year, 2 years, 3 years, as long as you decide you need to keep that home warranty. So that's why I love it. It gives you a little reprieve. It gives you a little bit of comfort in knowing that someone else has your back, especially now that you own that house and everything. Every great thing about that house, every time you're playing in the backyard, is yours. But also every time that water heater leaks, that's yours too.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question about that, Josh. So you said, you put somebody in the house and you get a home warranty. Traditionally, what does that last? A year, Ted? And what happens if they want to extend it? How long can they extend it? Can you answer those questions for some folks?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
Either
you
one of
have to. Yeah, so typically the warranty is set up at closing, and it's a 1 year starting at the day of close, and it'll go for 1 year. We typically reach out to the homeowner about 60 days prior to the end of the warranty just to ask them if they do want to renew. And if they want to renew, they can renew for as long as they'd like. There's some different payment options that we make available from monthly to quarterly, semi-annually, et cetera. But yeah, we certainly welcome people to stay with us. And what's typically funny is the folks that typically stay with us are the ones that had a claim in the first year because they've experienced the service and they've understood the benefit behind it. So they typically renew if they have a claim, right? And it's those folks that didn't have any claims in the first year, kind of like, I'll wing it. I don't know if we really need it or not. And then of course, Murphy's Law, I'll get a phone call 30 days after, the end of the warranty saying, can we renew? So that's typically how it'll work.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Josh, when you're working on behalf of a buyer and you are negotiating with the seller, and this is a situation where, as you described, it may have a hot water heater that's 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, seems to be working perfectly fine. The home inspector has checked the hot water heater out and says, yes, it's all operating well, but it is 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say, if they do the works and the checks on the hot water heater on an annual basis, it could last 10, 12, 14, 15 years. Or because it's a piece of equipment, it could last 5 or 6 years and break. But if it's about 8 or 9 years old and it's in working condition, and kind of the rule is if it's not broke, you can't fix it. But the buyer is saying, I'm really nervous about this. That's $1,500 or $2,000 or $2,500 if it breaks tomorrow. And the seller says, look, it's not broken. Mm-hmm. What's the nature of the way in which you approach a negotiation to be able to make that home warranty the tool that solves the issue?
So there's two ways that I normally go about it. First off, we'll have the water heater inspected. If there's no issues that come up from the inspection whatsoever, and everything's all thing or go, what we'll do is we'll normally negotiate for an extended home warranty. So just like Ted was saying a second ago, it lasts for a year initially. We may request or we may negotiate for a 2-year home warranty. We may make sure that there's additional things specifically regarding, say, an HVAC system that has the same situation where it's working, there's no issues with it, but we know just based on statistics and just the life cycle of systems that it's going to go out. So what we do is we extend the home warranty. We may add additional riders to the home warranty to specific issues, garage doors, whatever it may be, just to make sure that when the time does come, they do have someone else looking for them. Because just like you said, you can't really force someone to fix something that's not broken.
And because we know that, as part of the benefits of the services that Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty provides here in Metro Atlanta and all over the country, is every buyer is guaranteed that we will get them a home warranty from America's Preferred when they purchase a home. The same goes for the home sellers, which America's Preferred will put that warranty on that home for the duration of the time that the house is being listed. But we've also created a program, which we may have talked about a bit in earlier episodes, which is a program that's absolutely unique to Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, which is our certified pre-owned home program. And that program includes a number of features that are all designed to get that home in the kind of physical condition that makes them absolutely 100% attractive to buyers when they come and see that home. And one of the key elements of it is to have that home inspected prior to the home going on the market so that we can determine what issues there are related to that home that in a home inspection after the house has gotten a binding agreement on it, the seller is going to have to fix or is going to have to negotiate to fix or is going to have to negotiate putting up some money or reducing the sales price to fix, and getting those issues taken care of before the home goes on the market. But also included in that certified pre-owned home program is not just the identification of the issues and helping the home seller to get those issues taken care of, is the home warranty. And the home warranty in this certified pre-owned program has two sides to it. Side one is putting that home warranty on the home during the time that the house is listed, so that if anything happens that couldn't have been determined in an inspection, stove starts working, a burner, turn off switch doesn't work and it doesn't light anymore, or the refrigerator that has worked perfectly fine for years all of a sudden just stops working. Those kinds of things are covered in that home warranty. But the second part of it is that we build into the certified pre-owned home program the cost of giving a 1-year complete home warranty to the buyer, putting that up front in the marketing of the home, saying, hey, this is a certified pre-owned home. This house has been inspected. We have resolved all the issues that the inspector has isolated. Here's a copy of the home inspection report. Here's a copy of the receipts for all the work that had been done to fix all the things in the house. And in the event that anything happens that couldn't have been determined, you will get, in addition to that, a 1-year home warranty fully paid for that will enable you to use that home warranty if anything happens to any of the equipment that couldn't have been found during that period. That in effect, it's just like buying a certified pre-owned car that had new tires put on it and new brakes put on it and got a 90-day car warranty and had the paint touched up and the car completely cleaned on the inside. And they charge you 10 or 15% more for that car than just a used car. Homes that are in our certified pre-owned home program are not just a used home. They are a certified pre-owned home where all of the issues that could relate to the negativity of buying that home as relates to, broken appliances or cracked windows or all of those sorts of things, they're taken care of with the additional insurance that that home warranty is going to take care of anything that relates to that stove, that refrigerator, that heat and air system, that hot water heater, that microwave that couldn't have been identified even through a really good and thorough home inspection. So that having that home warranty, both to serve the home seller during the listing time and to serve the home seller and the home buyer in negotiating the sale of that home, is an extremely valuable tool. And it's a valuable tool because the home seller is saying, hey, look, I put my hand up and solemnly swear that we have really put the time and effort into assuring you, as well as anyone could, that this home is in good physical condition and that if something breaks, you can get it fixed. Really, really important. And particularly important in some houses that might be harder to get sold than other types of homes. There are homes in communities where people just fight over, oh my God, that house is for sale, and you get 6 or 10 offers.
Mm-hmm.
And there are other homes that they're still great homes in good shape, in really good communities, but for a variety of reasons, whether it's the particular location or it's not as high an interest area of Metro Atlanta, or it's in a community that may have some things associated with it that are more difficult to sell, like a higher home, like a higher HOA payment,
Mhm.
or in townhome communities or in gated communities where HOA payments are monthly, or they may have slightly higher taxes because of the nature of the community. Being a certified pre-owned home in that very same community separates you out from the other homes that are listed for sale in that community. That puts you at the top of the list. It's like going to, a really good, um, you know, uh, uh, used car lot, or you go to a dealership and they have their used cars on one side and their certified pre-owned cars on the other side. And there are a great many more people who, when they're looking for a car that's going to last them for a good long time, will gravitate right over to the certified pre-owned home car side of the lot because they know what they're buying is something that they can bank on. It's the same for a certified pre-owned home. We had a house that we just sold and closed very recently in a part of Metro Atlanta that is not necessarily the highest trafficked part of Metro Atlanta. Great community, happened to be a gated community, relatively new. The houses were only 5 or 6 years old. But we still had the homeowner go through the certified pre-owned home program, even though the house was only 5 or 6 years old, so that they could completely identify anything that might have occurred during the time that they owned the home, and also assure a buyer that buying a home in that community where the costs may be higher to be part of that community, well, part of the benefits of owning the home in that community was the fact that you were buying a home that was not only spotless, but was assured to be in good physical condition. And if anything happened, they were taken care of as well, so that they wouldn't have additional costs put on top of them in those first couple of years that they owned that home. I will tell you that even though that house took longer to sell than typically sold in other parts of Metro Atlanta, that house sold before every other home that had been listed before our client's home, and sold pretty quickly and closed pretty quickly, with there being literally no issues that came up with the home inspection, and the kind of confidence that the buyer was able to have, knowing that they had that home warranty, and because it was a VA loan that had additional issues and circumstances that are attached to the physicality of that home, that added to taking away problems that typically come up with VA loans. So when you look at what it is that you're searching for, when you make that decision to either buy or sell a home, look at not only the advisor that's going to be assisting you, but look at who the people are behind them, what that team looks like, and what the programs and systems are that they have that set them apart, and what the guarantees are that set them apart. Because those guarantees are what help you with confidence purchase or sell your home. Josh, any last thoughts about the process of helping buyers to get a good deal on a home and the use of good products like home warranties?
Yeah. So one thing I like to think about is that it's not just for first time home buyers, second time home buyers, move up, move down. It's also good for investors. So if they have multiple properties that that have tenants in place, Airbnb, whatever it may be, you also can use it for those properties too. So you just have one less expense to worry about on a weekly, monthly, daily basis. So it's a really versatile tool.
And that's a very good point. Ted, any last thoughts?
No, but Josh, you're exactly right. Yeah, we have a number of folks, people that rent typically don't take quite as good a care of a home as people that actually own them. So for the investor out there, the warranty is kind of a no-brainer. And the beauty of the model that we present with choosing your own contractor, often those either real estate agents or the owner of the home do have their guy, right? Their plumber, their electrician, their HVAC guy, which allows them, again, greater confidence on the warranty side to send that plumber technician out who they know, like, and trust can get the job done. So very good point there, Josh. Thank you.
Yeah. Steph, just a quick reminder on the 4 events that are going on in Metro Atlanta.
Yep. Okay, so the 4 events are, number 1 that we talked about was in Stone Mountain Park, and that one is the Latino Family Festival. Okay, that's in Stone Mountain. That's this weekend. The other one that's going on just this weekend is the Atlanta Beltline Lantern Parade and Festival. Again, just this weekend in the evening on the Beltline. The third one we talked about was the Cat in the Hat at the Center for Puppetry Arts, and that is going on through the whole month of May. And last but not least is the Renaissance Festival, which is going on throughout the month of May, rain or shine, in Fairburn. And if you've never been to one, go get a turkey leg and have a good time.
Absolutely. So if you like what you heard today and you think that this is pretty nifty, because we think it is, why don't you please like the podcast? And if this is your first time joining us, go ahead and subscribe on a regular basis. We talk about a great many things that are really important and valuable, and sometimes, as Stephanie gets to do, fun. Having to do with Metro Atlanta and home buying and home selling. So please like us, please subscribe. And if you have any questions or you want additional information about anything we've talked about today, you can either call us or text us at the number that's associated with this particular podcast, or you can click on the link that's with the podcast, and we'll be happy to get you any information that you need, particularly if you want to get more information about America's Preferred Home Warranty programs and the kinds of things that Ted and his team are able to provide. So we thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to you joining us again in the weeks to come.
Thanks. Have a great
Thank you
weekend.
much.
Hey, y'all take care.
Take care.